The Nigerian Labour Congress suspends its proposed strike over new minimum wage. President Muhammadu Buhari on embracing ICT as a tool for delivering good governance and sustainable national development. And INEC commences display of voters' register nationwide. These and more on Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. The organized labor has suspended its proposed strike over new minimum wage following an agreement reached and signed by all the members of the tripartite committee in Abuja. Ahmed reports that the final reports is to be submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Long waiting by the Nigerian workers both in private and public sector seems to be over, as the tripartite committee is said to submit the final copy of the proposed new minimum wage by Tuesday to President Muhammadu Buhari. NLC President Ayuba Waba is optimistic that the agreed figure to be presented to the president will suit all and sundry.
An agreement has been reached and also documents have been signed. The report will be submitted to Mr. President tomorrow by 4:15 p.m. and therefore organized labor will want to use this medium to thank all the tripartite partners for their understanding and importantly for concluding this very important national assignment. And having reached this position and also the fact that the assignment had been concluded, the organized labor also decided that the proposed strike action is hereby suspended.
SGF, who was impressed with the national interest shown by the tripartite committee members, says Nigeria is the winner in this struggle.
I put it on record that this committee has worked assiduously over the last 12 months to arrive at the very concrete decisions that were reached this evening, and which the President has graciously accepted to receive the report tomorrow.
To Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, the magic in this dialogue is the power of give and take in the labour industry.
Dialogue, that's social dialogue. That's what is required in labour negotiations. So we have dialogue, give and take, and it's done.
Ahmed, NTA News.
Similarly, Minister of Education Malam Adamu has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities to call off its strike and resume dialogue with government to ensure effective solution. Speaking to the media on the strike embarked upon by ASU, the minister said he is optimistic that one of the grievances of the union will soon be addressed with the release of approved 20 billion naira to universities.
I'm optimistic that dialogue will produce better results. For us to negotiate under the pressure of strike may end up producing the kind of agreement we had in 2009, which almost all stakeholders have agreed is not easily implementable. As Minister of Education, I feel the pain. I share your concern and I'm willing to go to any mile so that together we can change the narrative for the better of this country. I want to use this opportunity to appeal to ASU to put off this strike in the name of the country and in view of what the situation is. Come, let us continue the talk, something that we already started.
President Muhammadu Buhari has challenged participants at the E-Nigeria conference in Abuja to come up with innovative ideas towards enhancing government's effort at creating an enabling environment for the promotion of digital economy, considering the nation's peculiarities. Declaring open the conference organized by the National Information Technology Development Agency, the president described the ICT as credible towards delivering good governance and sustainable national development. Status correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
theme promoting a digital economy in an era of disruptive technologies through effective regulations, the E-Nigeria Conference is aimed at enabling stakeholders within and outside Nigeria to discover new socio-economic development opportunities provided by an increasing advancement in technologies and innovation. President Muhammadu Buhari described as pleasing the huge role ICT is playing in the giant strides recorded by his administration in delivering good governance to Nigerians. This, he said, informed the issuance of Executive Orders 3 and 5 as part of deliberate efforts by government to, among others, strengthen the role of science, technology, and innovation in Nigeria's socio-economic development.
National Information Technology Development Agency is expected to work with all relevant government agencies to ensure full compliance with this directive. Defaulters of IT clearance among the public establishments are to be reported to government. We are serious about fighting corruption. We must not fail in our quest to eliminate corruption in government businesses and in the wider society.
He said apart from the impact of the ICT application on the social investment programs, the enforcement of the use of policy on the Treasury single account, among other initiatives, reinforced the federal government's fight against corruption by ensuring transparency and accountability in government business transactions.
This administration's commitment towards delivering good governance and development of our people is as strong as ever.
And it is noteworthy that the foreign direct investment in the sector has increased from $3.2 billion in 2015 to $4 billion in 2018. As a matter of fact, I must also add that as of today, ICT provides more jobs for the country than oil and gas industries.
Keynote speaker and pioneer chairman of the EFCC, Malam Nuhuri Badu, who blamed corruption for Nigeria's underdevelopment, spoke of the need to explore every available means, especially the use of modern technologies, to fight the menace.
Fighting corruption and indeed all important socio-economic changes require a firm, honest, and incorruptible leadership. Today in Nigeria, we are witnessing a revolution. EFCC alone got about 191 convictions within 8 months period. This is amazing. There is nowhere in the world this is happening.
The Director General of NIDDA, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, who convened the conference, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the support, motivation, and encouragement that resulted in the unprecedented ICT revolution in Nigeria.
Because of the personality of the leadership we have in the country, the IT sector is repositioned well in order to migrate our country from knowledge-based economy to a digital one. Mr. President, we are thankful for that.
The E-Nigeria 2018 conference is aimed at accelerating the development and access to digital products and services to millions of Nigerian citizens, ultimately creating Africa's largest single digital market by the year 2020. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Experts are considering the need to ratify Nigeria's investment in promotion agreement to enable interested foreign investors explore opportunities that abound in Nigeria. This was brought to the fore during the interactive session of Nigeria-Canada Investment Summit to ensure ease of doing business between Nigeria and Canada in the areas of mining, power, housing and agriculture, among others. Garba Mohammed Natala reports.
During the summit open, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says aside deepening investment in areas of agriculture, mining, power, another key aspect is to ensure security for meaningful development to take place.
We are committed to listening to you as investors and engaging with you. Please be assured also that we remain committed to driving further reforms, especially in the areas of security and the rule of law, and to generally improve the experience of doing business in Nigeria.
As Canadian business community indicated interest to invest and explore untapped opportunities in Nigeria, Minister of Trade and Investment emphasized on remodeling existing agreements, particularly on investment and promotion.
we will find a way, even if it's some kind of attachment to that agreement, to acknowledge this new environment in a way that, because I understand that we need to go ahead with the agreement that already exists.
While Nigeria-Canada relations remain robust, there is still room for further improvement in order to engender more economic cooperation.
In turn, Canada will reciprocate such by enhancing their foreign investment agreement for Nigerian businesses to thrive.
It's my hope that this new mandate, combined with increasingly adventurous Canadian companies, will mean more trade and investment in Nigeria.
Considering the long-existing bilateral relations that spans decades, the summit, first of its kind, has provided avenue for stakeholders to share ideas that will encourage mutually beneficial investment and trade between the two countries. In Abuja, Garab Muhammad Atala, NT.
The federal government, through its Enterprise and Empowerment Program, Trader Money, has empowered traders at the K2, Bariga and Oshodi markets with 10,000 naira non-interest loan. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo was at the various markets to express federal government's determination towards improving small-scale businesses in the country. Abolade Salami reports.
An atmosphere of excitement and jubilation, traders at the K2 market received the federal government social intervention program, Trader Money, of 10,000 naira non-interest loan. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, in company of Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode, were warmly received at the K2 markets by the enthusiastic traders, where the Vice President had an interactive session with some traders. The warm reception was replicated at the Bariga and Nigerian Army Shopping Mall Arena in Oshodi, where the traders expressed their appreciation to the federal government kind gesture towards the development of small businesses in the country.
So this is the first time of knowing it in this market. It's a very laudable initiative. It's a welcome development as far as the issue of this market is concerned. We love it and we want it to continue the way it has commenced.
We are very happy and we are going to orientate our people that they should know what to do with the money. So we are very happy. We thank the government very well.
The Executive Director of Micro Enterprises, Bank of Industry, Toyin Adeniji, described the social intervention program as a means to scale up small businesses and encourage more women in petty trading.
Trader Money is a social intervention program under this Buhari administration, and it is geared at petty traders to receive some empowerment, financial empowerment to grow their businesses. And we are all over Nigeria. Every single state has received, has Trader Money beneficiaries.
The social intervention program of the present administration, stakeholders say, has passed the 1 million beneficiary mark. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The federal government is strengthening the operations and legal framework of Tax Appeal Tribunal to address the more than 209 appeals with more than 7 trillion naira. To this end, the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has inaugurated the Commissioner of the Tax Tribunal in line with the recommendations of the National Tax Policy. Ali Tukur reports.
The government desire to achieve a sustainable growth and minimize the monolithic dependence on oil revenue has resulted to various reforms. One of which is the reform of the country's tax system, leading to the establishment of the Tax Appeal Tribunal in 2010 to resolve tax disputes on a basis that is free, fair, flexible, speedy and convenient. Against this backdrop, the Minister of Finance inaugurated more than 50 tax appeal tribunal commissioners with the mandate to adjudicate on all tax disputes arising from operations of various tax laws, as spelled out in the first schedule to the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act before gaining access to the law courts.
Very fundamentally, the current tax policy of the government places emphasis on areas of harnessing all necessary inputs towards achieving voluntary tax compliance.
The newly inaugurated commissioners promised to build confidence in the country's tax system.
We will ensure that the government gets not a couple less than what it ought to get. We will also ensure that the taxpayer does not pay a couple less than what he ought to pay.
FRS is to collect revenue, but to collect the correct amount of revenue. So where there's a difference of opinion, the tax tribunals will also have a look at the issues.
With the status of a federal high court, the Tax Appeal Tribunal is established in 8 zones to cover the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama from the Lagos Network Center. More reports ahead. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. It's still Panorama from the Lagos Network Center. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, begins display of voters register across the country today, as more than 300,000 ineligible voters have been cleaned up from the register. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made this known while briefing a delegation of ECOWAS pre-election fact-finding mission in Abuja. Mia Ogidi reports.
The role of INEC can be likened to that of a referee in a football match, whose responsibility is to create the enabling environment for the players to play the game according to the rules. And to get the confidence and trust of the players, credibility of the referee is paramount. So, INEC, in this case the referee, is meticulously following the Electoral Act of 2010 as amended in all its dealings. One of the requirements in this electoral manual, as it were, is the public display of voters' register for claims and corrections before the elections.
Between the 6th to the 12th of November, we'll display the register in the 120,000 polling units nationwide. And I would like to see this opportunity to appeal to citizens to check when we display the register.
That is for genuine voters, and for those who are not eligible, either by double registration or underage, INEC deployed its automatic fingerprint identification system, and many have been caught in the net.
As at last week, before I traveled, I was told that over 300,000 names were dropped after the automatic fingerprint identification system.
This excites the international community.
From the explanation so far, we are satisfied. I mean, as elections people, we know that they are on the right track.
Meanwhile, INEC is to conduct by-elections into 3 vacant seats in the House of Representatives and 2 state constituencies. Mia Ogidi, NT News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says there is an improvement in the quality of lawyers produced from various universities in the country. He has therefore called for an increase in the number of lawyers, saying it will serve as a building block for sustainable democracy. Professor Osinbajo stated this at a competition organized for law undergraduates in Lagos.
Describing the overall relevance of the law profession as fundamental to the delivery of justice, system of governance, and administration in the country, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo reiterated that a faulty justice system poses risks to governance and society. He said law firms had the contributory role and responsibility in the formation of lawyers who can put forward facts to back up sound arguments.
And encouraging young lawyers, young advocates to really be the best they can be, especially in presenting their cases, presenting their arguments to panels, whether those panels are the distinguished panel we have today, or individual judges or judges of the appellate courts.
Earlier, 10 finalist law undergraduates from higher institutions across the country presented briefs on the legality of the Lagos State Power Reform Law to address electricity distribution and generation. Contestants were rewarded with various sums of money and other opportunities. Umsute Paul, a 500-level law undergraduate from Benue State University, clinched first position.
What we're seeing here is simply the building blocks to making those who participated to be great advocates. They gain confidence, they know exactly the basic things about advocacy.
This pushes your intellectual ability, not just that, but your discipline, based on merit, not based on where you come from or based on your religion.
Simon Cooper's Advocacy Development Initiative is a brainchild of the Vice President that helps to groom undergraduate law students and lawyers across the country. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The Federal High Court in Lagos has dismissed the no-case submission application filed by the former governor of Oyo State, Rashid Ladoja, and ordered him to enter his defense in the money laundering case of 4.7 billion naira preferred against him by the EFCC. Vera Chumba reports that the case of former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzo Kalu, was also presented.
Following the dismissal of the no-case submission by the court, the amended charges were read to the former governor of Oyo State, Rashid Ladoja, and his former finance commissioner, Wahida Akambi. Both pleaded not guilty to the 11-count charge preferred against them by the EFCC. Counsel to the accused, Adeyinka Olumide Fuseka, told the court that oral evidence and documents tendered by the prosecution witnesses amount to hearsay in the light of Section 90, subsections 1 to 4 of the Evidence Act. He told the court that the documents do not constitute legally admissible evidence because they are public documents tendered by individuals and not certified by the appropriate authorities. Mr. Olumide Fuseka urged the court to discharge and acquit the defendant. The prosecution counsel Olufemi Olabusi argued that the objection is premature as the documents were tendered during cross-examination. He said the court should be concerned with whether the totality of the evidence adduced is sufficient facts that will warrant the defendants to answer the questions raised. Mr. Olabusi further argued that the court cannot at this stage determine whether the defendants are guilty or not, but that they have a case to answer. Justice Mohammed Idris, who was recently elevated to appeal court, was sitting on a fiat issued by the President of Court of Appeal to conclude some high-profile criminal cases, reserved ruling for Monday, the 12th of November. Also, the case of former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzo Kalu, came up for hearing. Counsel to the former governor, Awakalu, told the court that his client had surgery in a German hospital. EFCC counsel Rotimi Jacobs asked the court to treat the absence of Kalu as having jumped bail. The court has ordered that the former governor of Abia State makes himself available within the next 7 days for trial. In Lagos, Vera Chumuba, NTA News.
Time now to talk sports. Nigerian athletes to compete at the maiden edition of the Africa Zone